Welcome to Global Eats, where tonight I will be making a chicken bangla garlic. So before we begin, I'd just like to say many thanks to all the people that have commented and liked the videos so far. I only started making these videos just to have something to do with my GoPro, which I bought for when I go out travelling again, whenever that will be. And I thought, well, I've got a GoPro, so why not make some video vlogs? Vlogs, I think they're called. Anyway, people have got in touch and said that they've used the recipes and they've made the curry base and then made some curries and that they've really enjoyed them. So for that reason, it's been worthwhile. So before I run you through the ingredients, I'll just let you know what we're listening to during tonight's cooking. We've got Indian royalty-free music, Indian instrumental music, Indian background music, free meditation yoga, and that's well, it's a 2.5 hour video. Yellow tunes, I've used them before, so if you're after some nice chilled out Indian royalty-free music, Yellow tunes, that's the place to go. So the ingredients for tonight's curry, which is as I said, the chicken bangla garlic. So we've got the usual pre-cooked ingredients. So we've got the chicken and mushroom. I just point out that this curry is entirely vegan, apart from the fact I'm going to put chicken in it, but you can put anything in it that you want, so you could just leave out the chicken and replace that with either vegetables, mushroom, or any kind of soy protein, whatever it is you want, and everything else is completely vegan. And this is an unusual one. In this curry you actually pre-cook the onion and the pepper. Ideally you would be using green pepper, but I'd not got one, so I'm using yellow pepper. So that will make a difference to the taste. So if you've got a green pepper, use green. So we've got some chopped tomatoes there. Probably need maybe 2/3 of that, but they needed using, so I'm just going to chuck the whole lot in. We've got the spices, which is the spices for this one is 2.5 teaspoons of the spice blend, which the ingredients for the spice blend will be in the description below. Basically it's a mix of all your usual Indian spices, so you've got coriander in there, cumin, turmeric, maybe curry powder, I'm not so sure, some paprika as well, but basically you make up a lot of this and then that gets used in a lot of the curries that you make, along with various other spices or various amounts of other spices. So for this one, 2.5 teaspoons. There's also some about 1/4 teaspoon of chilli in there. It's not a hot curry, this one, so about 1/4 teaspoon. Put more in if you want it spicier. And a little bit of salt, and I think that's it. Again, the ingredients for this curry will be listed below in the description. Chopped chilli, just the one. Now these are the 3 ingredients that really make this curry, so as well as using coriander as a garnish at the end, you also actually use it in the cooking of the curry, but you don't just use the leaf, you actually use the stalk as well. So about 5 grams of that, which is, yeah, about that much. Next up, we've got the garlic. Now the clue is in the name of the curry. Chicken bangla garlic. It's got a lot of garlic in it, so there's about 6 cloves of garlic. You can slice it or chop it. I prefer it chopped than sliced, but that's entirely down to you. Yeah, we've got a moth flying around. A lot of garlic in this curry, so don't make this one the day before a hot date. And this is the interesting one, spring onion. It's the only Indian curry I've ever made that uses spring onion. So it's kind of like a garnish, though I prefer it to be heated, so I just chuck it in the pan at the end rather than using it as a garnish. But yeah, spring onion in an Indian curry. Who would have thunk? Okay, so here we go. It's different to most of the other curries, this one, because the first thing that goes in is the base. So we don't need no oil because there's already oil in the base. Now I'm going to put just under half of the base in the pan. And that's the first thing we need to do, is just get the base warming up. I've got it on a medium heat, so it shouldn't take long to start boiling away. So you want to get the base just bubbling slightly. You don't want to over boil it, but just get it nice and warm before you start adding the next ingredients in. Oh, trying to make a base face. Almost. So the curry base, this is the base that makes you use to make every single British Indian restaurant style curry. I have put up the recipe for this. There's a video showing you how to make this. It's basically lots and lots of onions, some spices, some green pepper, water, oil, tomatoes, and that's about it. Doesn't taste great on its own because it's not meant to be eaten on its own, but this is the base that will make everything from a korma right up to a farb. It's very easy to make. It takes, you know, a couple of hours or something, but you don't have to stand there cooking. You just basically chuck everything in a pot and let it boil for an hour or so, and then you've got enough base to make 5 curries. So that's about as much as I want to cook that off, so I'm going to start chucking in some ingredients. So the next thing to go in is the chopped tomatoes and the garlic. I'm just going to let that cook away for a minute or so. Again, still on a low heat. You don't want everything to overcook. You just want them flavours to blend. Got to say, because I pre-chopped all the ingredients, and so I'm all ready to go. I pre-chopped them all earlier, and so basically everything's just been sat there for an hour or so, well, maybe even longer than that. So the entire kitchen smells of garlic, which is not a bad thing. It just smells amazing. Right, okay, next thing to go in, spices. So the spices are in, so the next thing to do is to add the pre-cooked ingredients. So that will be the fried onion and yellow pepper, or well, green pepper, but I only had yellow, but if you've got green, use green. And and this is the only thing that makes it non-vegan, the chicken with the mushroom. It's not a very saucy curry, this one. It's quite a dry curry, and I think that's because you put the base in at the start, so there's not a great deal of sauce, but it does have a nice flavour. So sometimes you have to make sacrifices. In this case, less sauce, but lots of flavour. So I'm going to get that all stirred in so that the chicken will take on the curry paste, the curry masala. Okay, so all the pre-cooked ingredients are now in, and I'll give them a good stir, so they're now all coated in that base gravy and spice masala that I've got going on. And now it's time to add the rest of the base gravy. Now I'm going to turn this right down because I don't really want this to kind of cook off and evaporate, because I do like to have a bit of gravy with my curries, and as I said, this one is quite a dry curry, but I'm going to try and make it as non-dry as possible. I just realised that I forgot the most important instruction, that you must drink at least 1 bottle of wine before you attempt any kind of cooking. So while that's just bubbling away slowly, I'm going to tell you what I've been drinking tonight. So a bottle of wine has gone, and that bottle's already been put out in the bin. Normally at this stage I move on to the beer. There we go. This is probably about the best that you can get from Asda. So I've got a Hobgoblin in there, some Indian IPA. What else have I got? Champion, McEwen's Champion, and something else. Shepherd something or other. Not great stuff, but it's, as I say, it's about as good as it gets at Asda, and it's all very strong. I think the weakest one is about 6.5%. So, but I've not gone on to that yet because I finished my bottle of wine, and then my mum made me one of these things. Look at the bloody size of that. My mum does like her gins. She says she only has, like, you know, two a week, or, you know, the weekend, 2 or 3. But they are about the size of buckets, so, you know, that's probably about a bottle of gin in there. And it's nice, and apparently it's this stuff, which I've never heard of before. Larios. I think it's a Spanish gin. This one comes from Benidorm. You can see that, it's a plastic bottle, so classy stuff. And that's been mixed with this thing, which is, what is this stuff? Gin based liqueur. And this is electric blue and Scottish raspberry flavoured. And that's 20% as well. So it's quite a potent little drink, this, that my mum's knocked up for me. Right, back to the curry. You can always tell when I've been in the kitchen. So I've just left it on a low heat, because I don't want the sauce to thicken too much. Okay, so the final ingredients have gone in. So you've got the coriander there, with the coriander stalks, spring onion, and I've also finally put in the chilli, which I meant to put in earlier. So that should have gone in probably just after the base gravy. So when I put the spices in, that's when I should have put the chilli in, but I forgot, so it's gone in now. It's not actually on the recipe, it's the ingredients list, but I've just thrown one in just to give it a bit of a fresh kick. So right, time to get all that mixed together. So there we go, everything's been cooking away, and that's now ready to serve. I've just given it a taste test. To me, I think it needs a little bit more chilli. So if I was going to do this again, I would put a little bit more chilli in it. It lacks bite, but it's very. I've only tasted the sauce, so once I taste the, you know, with the onion and pepper and the chicken and everything, I might have a completely different opinion. But it just does, to me, it just lacks a little bit of bite. I've just thrown on some garam masala, which is like the Indian salt, basically. It just adds a little bit of flavour. So so yeah, it is what it is. There you go, chicken bangla garlic.